Hey everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Michigan hockey advances to the Frozen Four. Shouldn't be any news. They do it almost every year. Their 27th Frozen Four since 1948 when it all started, I believe. 9 national championships out of that. So a third of the time Michigan makes it this far, they win the national championship. Michigan hockey is playing number 3 Quinnipiac in the Frozen Four, and number 1 Minnesota is playing number 5 Boston in their side of the Frozen Four. Michigan survived Penn State in overtime. It was that amazing shot by Samoskevich in overtime, a minute in, that won Michigan the game. And Quinnipiac beat Ohio State 4-1. Minnesota beat St. Cloud 4-1, and Boston beat Cornell 2-1. It's going to be an interesting Frozen Four. It will be difficult for Michigan. All right, Quinnipiac beat Ohio State to make it to this point, and Michigan struggled to do that a couple of times. Michigan went, I think they won 3 times versus twice versus Ohio State. So they split the series there, and Quinnipiac beat them. Quinnipiac is 32-4-3 for the season, 15-0-1 at home, but they're not at home anymore. They tied and beat North Dakota. They tied Massachusetts. They beat Harvard, they beat Connecticut, and then Harvard again, and Ohio State in that quarterfinal. Colin Graff is their guy that played in 39 games and had 56 points, 20 goals, and he was 4th in the nation average points per game. Sam Lipkin played 37 games and had 39 points. He was 23rd in the nation in points per game. Ethan DeLong played 39 games and had 39 points. He was tied 30th in the nation in points per game. That's all good and well and good and everything. But Michigan, yes, they went 26-11-3, had 11 losses, but they're 3-1 neutral site, which is what this game will be in Tampa, Florida. Michigan beat Boston, who was in the Frozen Four, by 9-2. They lost another one 2-3 to them in that same series, but they swept Western Michigan, a ranked team at the time. These are all ranked teams at the time. They beat Penn State 4 times, including the quarterfinal. They beat Notre Dame. They beat Minnesota twice. They beat Harvard. They beat Michigan State 3 times and Ohio State twice. And then Colgate, who was also a ranked team at the time. Michigan has Adam Fantilli, who has played 35 games and has 64 points and will be your Hobie Baker Award winner, should be. 29 of those 64 points are goals. He's 1st in the nation in average points per game. He's a freshman, so the youth is just going to be, I'll list it for you. Luke Hughes is a sophomore, played 38 games, had 47 points, and had 10 goals, 9th in the nation in average points per game. Another sophomore, Mackie Samoskevich, who won the game for Michigan in the quarterfinal versus Penn State, played 38 games and had 43 points. 20 of those were goals, 15th in the nation. A freshman, Rutger McGroarty, has played 38 games and had 38 points. He's getting a point a game. 18 of those were goals, and he is tied for 30th in the nation in points per game. Freshman, Gavin Brindley, played 40 games, and he has had 38 points, 12 goals, 46th in the nation, and freshman TJ Hughes, no relation, I don't believe, played in 38 games and had 36 points, 13 goals, and he is 48th in the nation. So Michigan is just dominant with the youth, but dominant with the points as well. That's just the way we roll. 7 draft picks last year after the Frozen Four. I don't see why it changes this year. I hope some of these guys stay, but like Luke Hughes and Sam Iskevich stayed last year to do this again. Maybe some of these freshmen will do that too, and maybe they will. That'd be awesome. But Minnesota, if we get past Quinnipiac, which I think we should, they play in a lesser league. I mean, I named off who they beat. Michigan has much better wins, harder competition. Stats are skewed, the like. If Minnesota wins, they are no joke if they beat Boston. Michigan is 2-5 versus them this season. If Boston wins and Michigan wins, it will be a rematch as well from early in the season. Like I said earlier, Michigan won 9-2 versus them and lost 2-3. So, like I started out this video, Michigan made it to the Frozen Four. It will be a tall order for this Michigan team to complete it. I think our coach lost his interim tag. Brandon Naurato is now the head coach of Michigan hockey. That should be a status quo going forward. I like what I'm seeing, and that was an epic game versus Penn State. Sorry I didn't have a reaction to that. I was at a pool tournament or practice. I was down at the Moose, which is a family lodge that I belong to, and my nephew and I took third place 2 years ago, first place last year, so we're looking to defend our title in pool, like billiards, So I had to get some practice in because it's been a while. But we were doing that Sunday when Michigan destroyed Penn State in 1 minute of overtime. So there you have it. Michigan's back in the Frozen Four, and they are going to win it all, in my opinion. I don't see anything stopping them. Adam Fantilli, Luke Hughes, Mackey Semiskevich, Rutger McGroarty, Gravin Brentley, TJ Hughes, all household names by now. Look at the freshmen that left Michigan last year. They're tearing it up in the NHL. Michigan has this program rolling, and they're back, and they want it. Let's go.